An update to FSD v14 Lite is here. This is version 14.1. Really good news. The micro acceleration surges with v14.1 Lite are gone. You can see I'm using a karaoke mic inside of my car because I'm very curious to find out if the summer update has arrived for Hardware 3 Intel CPUs. I have 2026.21.6, which is merged with the AI4 stack. Well, what's in the summer update? The karaoke system, or the karaoke, has been updated. You now have a scoring system built in. But I'm not seeing that here at all. There's no evidence of it. So I'm going to tell it to go to Buffalo Grove. We're going to test on the highway. We're going to see if the micro surges with the acceleration have been resolved. I'm also going to be observing the wobble on the steering wheel, and then also brake stabbing. A lot of people have been complaining about brake stabbing. We're going to find out if it's still here or not. Okay, this is new behavior. v14.1 Lite actually gets out of my driveway now. I'm going to turn it on. Look at this. This is brand new. You still need to be parked in a position where your mirrors won't get clipped by the side, because that is still a problem. But look at this now. The steering wheel turns. It never, ever used to do this. It's now going around this other car in my driveway. This is huge. I am so excited about this now, and it changes everything for me in my driveway. Look at this. This is so exciting. And it seems to have a more, it's like more aware of the traffic, but now these cars are thankfully stopping for me. But my car is going too slow, in my opinion, to get out of here. But thankfully, they're waiting for me. And it then moves forward. This is a really huge improvement for v14 Lite. And 14.1 now brings it. It's a lot more capable in driveways.
You say slow.
For a quick obstacle test, I'm going to take this plant and move it behind my car and see if it will stop for it or if it sees it at all. We'll put it right here to start. Should be enough distance to see this.
These are LED projection lights for the doors on your Model 3, Model Y, S, or X.
It's another keeper in my own limited collection of Tesla accessories. It comes with an automatic welcome feature, which means that the lights turn on automatically when the doors open and they turn off when the doors are closed. And you can install them in a matter of minutes without any drilling, wiring, or modifying your vehicle in any elaborate way. Another thing that I learned is that these are pretty durable. They're also weatherproof. They're created from heat-resistant materials, and they also prevent dust from entering inside of the doors. Now, you can get these puddle lights for all 4 of your doors for $89.99. And if you use a discount code like TechGeek for 20% off, that drops to $72. Or you could get just 2 lights for, let's say, the front door and the passenger door for $59.99. And again, using a discount code like TechGeek drops that price down to $48. So in summary, I think these puddle lights are pretty cool. It's a nice addition for an older or a newer Tesla.
Starting self-driving. And it's slowing down. It actually saw the plant and it's trying to go around it. Is it actually going to pull this off? Wow, it's very tight. Okay, it's hitting the plant. Oh no. Okay, yeah, that's a disengagement. It's brushing up against it. That's gonna do some damage to my paint for sure. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, it tried. It just finished raining here. There is a huge puddle right up the road. So I'm going to test and see how v14.1 Lite handles this. I'm curious to find out. I'm in my driveway, so this will be a test to see how well it can leave here as well. I'm going to hit start self-driving, and here now it's backing out. And what's interesting is you're going to see the home link will close my garage door as well here. Any second here. There it is. So you're going to see there the garage door is closing. And let's see what it does. Like I said, I'm 50-50 on this. I don't know if it's going to stop. It can't go around it because it's a really huge puddle. Let's find out. So I'm in hurry mode, which is how I drive all the time. I don't have any issues with hurry mode. I know some people do. But this is like a 25 mile per hour road, and you can see I'm going 25 miles per hour. Okay, here it is, right up here. You see this massive puddle? It's huge, right? Oof. It didn't slow down at all. I didn't expect it would, but it's an interesting test because I always am curious if it sees the reflections or if it can notice the puddle. Now, if this was a 45 mile per hour road, I have a feeling it would have done the same thing, just plowing right into the puddle. Let's turn around and see if it does the same thing going back the other way. Okay, it's right around this corner here. It is actually 20 miles per hour. You're going to see with this speed limit sign right here. And we're going 29. So not the greatest, but of course I could change that if I go down to chill. But I'm going to keep it at hurry because I just want to see if it responds to this puddle. Here it is. Did not respond. All right, so we've settled that. Just know that it does not slow down for puddles. Okay, a couple of things. I'm in the standard speed mode. If I scroll through the options here, you're still limited to hurry with 14.1 Lite. There is no Mad Max in here. And if I go down to chill, you can see the instant speed change. Now it's 35 miles per hour here. Let's see what happens. We just passed the 35 mile per hour sign there, and now it's going up actually to 37. We have a red light coming up. So I'll do a little bit more tests with the speed profiles. Now we're at a sign here. It says no turn on red, and it's obeying that. In the past, it would disregard and go when it was clear. And it's clear right now, but the previous version of v14 Lite also wasn't moving at that intersection. So not sure if it's reading the sign. I actually doubt it, but there is some record of disengagements at that intersection, probably from me where it knows not to go right on red there anymore. And I think that comes to either the enhanced map data and or the feedback from drivers like myself. It's really unfortunate that we don't have the karaoke, and obviously the older Intel processors don't get the Grok updates. So for the newer cars, the Grok updates are going to include some more commands. It looks like you'll be able to handle phone calls, handle the media on your car, the climate, and also activate your glove box by using voice commands with Grok. Now, I use my phone to communicate with Grok over Bluetooth. I have Grok on my mobile phone and then I have it connected over Bluetooth. What I do is I just hold down the button here. What's the weather tomorrow?
Since you're in the US, it varies by location. In Philadelphia, tomorrow looks like partly sunny with a high around 85 or 86 and a 40% chance of showers or thunderstorms after 1 or 2 p.m. Chicago's noticeably cooler, and San Francisco's in the low 70s with morning clouds.
So it's going to be very hard to see, but I'll try to capture it on camera here. The steering wheel wobble here on side streets is still happening. I'm going to turn on another camera and turn on the light just so that I can show you this. It's unfortunate to me, but it is what it is, and we just kind of have to accept that for now, I think, because it's just it hasn't been fixed. There was a great example of the steering wheel that kind of moved a little bit more than it needed to, and now that it's in this lane here, you can see it just kind of happily bobbing back and forth. Not ideal. I wish they would fix that. I'm sure Tesla's aware of it. Many people have been talking about it. It's a minor nuisance for me. I wish it wasn't there. In some situations, it does get exaggerated to the point where one of my passengers noticed it, but he's kind of in the know and kind of very aware, hyper aware, I would say, of the software and what it's doing. So it did bother him. But other than that one person, none of my passengers have ever said anything about the steering wheel wobble. Okay, here we are on the highway. We're going 60 miles per hour and I am in chill. I'm going to bump this up here to standard. And here you're going to see, let's see if it actually changes speed here. It's not changing speed at all. So we're still going 60 miles per hour. I'm going to bump it up to hurry now. And we should see a little bit of a bump in the speed. Here again, not changing speed, but you do get that message, increased attention required, hurry profile selected. That's been there for a while. I had to rush to go catch it. Now I'm filming on the screen so you guys can see that in all of its glory. That is a new thing for v14 Lite, and not to v14.1, but to v14 Lite. The AI4 cars with version 14 have had that for quite some time. But that's an interesting setting because it is definitely different. The driver monitoring system is a little bit more strict when you are using hurry mode versus chill. When you're using chill, you can get away with more stuff as opposed to in hurry mode where it's just always monitoring the position of your head and what your eyes are doing. Now, I'm going to check really quick. I did some tests earlier with strikes. I might be a little bit low on it, but if I get a chance here, I will try to have the car basically give me a strike, and I'll get the red steering wheel, and I want to see if it now pulls over. This is something I noted when it first came out in very early July, where it's not the same as v14 on hardware 4, where it actually changes lanes and pulls over to the side of the road to stop. It's possible they added that, but I am skeptical. And it doesn't tell me here how many strikes I have. That's something I'm going to have to figure out after I put it in park, I imagine. But I'm pretty sure I have an extra one to spare, so we'll put that to the test here. Now, I have not observed any micro surges with the acceleration. We're going slower than I've done in the past on highways where you get that little tiny surge forward. But so far, I haven't felt it at all. This is a really great sign. Again, not conclusive evidence since sometimes it would happen, other times it wouldn't when I used v14 Lite without this 0.1 release. As you can see, there's a lot of construction cones out. I think that's why it's going so slow right now. Hopefully this will clear and then it'll increase its speed to 70 or something. That's what I'm really hopeful for, because this is a bit slow. Now you can see 45 miles per hour. It's a work zone. It says photo enforced. I'm going 59. Now nobody in Chicago goes 45. You know, the minimum anyone would ever go would be 50. So let's just put that to the test here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go down to standard. Here now, we dropped 1 mile per hour. Not too much. We're dropping down a little bit more, 58. Now let's go to chill. And now look at this, 57. It's dropping even more, 50, 49, 48, 47. So you're getting closer to that actual speed limit. But you see those people right in front of me? They're flying. I personally don't have issues with the speed control. I know some people, it drives them nuts. Here now I'm doing sloth, and now it's going exactly 45. I'll bump it up to chill, and let's see if it goes up a little bit faster. Even this slower person behind me is going around me now, 47. So you kind of go a little bit faster in chill than the speed limit. So like I said, I personally don't have any issues with the speed settings. Some people really miss the max speed. I don't really. It doesn't bother me. I'm almost always in hurry mode. And to be honest with you, the times where I've had to bump it down, and I've put a good 2,000 miles, I'd say, on my car with v14 Lite. And the times where I felt it was speeding, where I had to slow it down, have been very minimal. I'm talking like less than 10%, probably less than 5%. I really haven't had to micromanage my speed control at all. So I'm going to bump it back up here to hurry. Still 45. It's saying photo enforced, but lots of people flying down this road. Now, I have not seen any brake stabbing. A big complaint from people is that it would slam on the brakes for certain things. Now, it is nighttime, but you can see my high beams just went on. Nobody in front of us really, except for one car way up there. It's like it may have just recognized them. But nothing, I'm not experiencing any rough braking or accelerating. And someone was saying that they experienced this braking quite a bit in their car. And I had to scratch my head because I haven't witnessed that at all. Really. I mean, every so often, but it's so subtle. I would call it like stutter. It's not really any heavy braking. And that's just maybe my car. My windshield is like perfectly glass clean. Like I keep my glass very, very clean. It's probably cleaner than most people. So that might be related. Some people say, no, it's definitely a software issue. And I believe you. I do. So why is my car different? I can't really answer that. I do believe, though, that some cars behave differently. Maybe it's the placement of the cameras. Maybe it's some other hardware difference. I really don't know why, but there is a noticeable difference between certain cars. So we're going to be getting off at Lake Cook Road here, and that's going to end our highway. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add even a further destination. We're probably going to run out of batteries because I really want to go a lot faster than this. This is just not fast enough to get the results I want. So this is going to set me really far away from home here. But this is going to be a good test for all of you to see. I will be taking the tollway here to test the higher speeds. So I'm excited to test this out. Your support in these videos goes a real long way. And I hate to ask this, but, and I cringe kind of mentioning this, but super thanks. If you join my Patreon, it's like starting at $2 a month. You can cancel after 1 month. You can sign up and cancel right away. That's like half the cost of a coffee. Your support in these videos really helps me out a lot. and it keeps me motivated to continue producing this type of content. Don't get me wrong, it's a true honor and a real privilege to be able to hustle and post these videos for all of you, and I do it. I'm at your service all the time on this stuff. So regardless of your support, I will be doing this anyway because I love it. I'm passionate about it, and the ads help to pay for my coffees anyway. So I don't need your support, but your support is immensely meaningful to me. So thank you so much. So while we're waiting at this light, I thought I'd mention a couple things people may or may not be aware of. The FSD stats, there's a button down here in the lower left corner. It seems to be pinned there for everybody. And it takes a little bit of time to load, but it gives you some really cool stats to see inside of your car. That's one addition that I haven't really covered in much detail on my videos. Then there's also a really cool camera preview that I didn't cover previously. This showed up when v14 Lite first shipped, and very few people have covered it or shown it on their channels or even on X. So I'll go over that here in a second. It's in the service menu. It's a really cool display of all of the cameras around your car on the screen. And a lot of people didn't know that it's available with Intel. The Intel CPUs support that display as well. As you can see, it's taking a little bit of a long time to load here. Not sure why. I have noticed there is an issue with my browser, and the browser seems to be related with a lot of other functions inside of the vehicle. And especially on the infotainment side, things tend to kind of choke with the RAM. There's only 1 gigabyte of RAM for the browser, and the browser kind of feeds, it's a Chromium browser. It feeds a lot of these other elements. Like I'm pretty sure these FSD stats are being powered by that browser. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into the service menu here, and I'm going to hit clear web cache data, and I'm going to say clear data. And I think I just cleared all the history. That's fine. So everything has now been cleared. Now, if I go into the FSD stats, it should load a little bit faster, or at least it will load entirely this time. So that's a little trick. If you get stuck and something's not working, just go in and clear that cache. It is annoying, especially if you use the web browser, you're going to have that issue more often than not. So this is new, and you get this little menu down at the bottom. You can watch some examples. It gives you some more information. Actually, it's not any videos. It looks like these would be videos, but here it is, like it says never distracted, and it kind of shows you all of these camera views in one spot, and that's a little bit confusing. But the closest I've seen to where that's hidden is inside of here, and you can do this while you're driving. You go down to the service menu, and you'll see a camera preview. You tap on the camera preview, and look at this. So there I am in the car waving, and it's fast. I mean, that's responding very quickly. If you pull up this view from your phone, there's quite a bit of lag, but this is instantaneous. It's really nice to see this. And you also get the repeater cameras, which is unique. I wish they would add that to Sentry mode and the Dashcam clips. But as of right now, especially with the Intel processors, you don't get that with the Dashcam.
You can see I have a 185.2 mile streak going right now, and I lost it somewhere along the path here, and I couldn't figure out when or why. Well, this is exactly when I lost it, and you'll notice I hit end trip, and then I stepped on the brake pedal. Nothing different from before. However, it destroyed my streak. So although it doesn't happen every single time, there are times where if you do hit end trip and then disengage, you will lose your streak. I can't figure it out. Like I said, sometimes it works, other times it doesn't, and this is entirely related to my previous video on how to maintain streaks with method number 2, which only applies to hardware 3 vehicles, where you can end trip and then disengage and the streak remains. It doesn't seem to be the case. I think it's kind of hit or miss on this one now.
I think I might have a USB cable. So I'm going to end trip here, and I'm going to find a spot here where I can pull over.
Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I tested v14 Lite when it first came out to see what would happen when the driver got distracted or fell asleep, and you are on the highway. Now with AI4, what happens is the car will move all the way over. It will cross multiple lanes to get over to the side of the road to come to a complete stop. And that's a really cool thing that happens. However, I'm very curious to see if it happens here with v14.1 Lite. So that's exactly what I'm about to do here. But first, I'm confirming how many strikes I have because I was experimenting a little bit earlier. And turns out I have 2 strikes, so that's good. I can do another test here.
Okay, so it started to slow down. It put the hazard lights on, and it was not indicating it was moving over. Now I basically can't use self-driving anymore, but you'll notice I hit end trip before I disengaged. And that's really important to maintain your streak. Believe it or not, you can keep your streak if you hit end trip, and this will be a great test with v14.1. There's our message about telemetry data, which is great. We'll say okay. And I'll go ahead and turn it back on again. We've got our destination already in. We'll speed up here. And I'll hit start self-driving. And my streak is gone. Okay. Not sure. So I just jerked the wheel out. That is very bizarre. I'm not sure why the streak was over, but really good news. The micro acceleration surges with v14.1 Lite are gone. This is really great and an awesome change to see. Everything else, based on about 45 minutes of driving, is similar to the previous version. The steering wheel wobble is still there. I have not had any brake stabbing or brake staggering. There's none of that, but I didn't really have that previously.
Regarding the brake stabbing, this is probably the last thing I'm going to comment on. Even though I don't have that many issues with it, I understand some people have had major regressions since changing from 12.6.4. Some people so much so that they want to go back to the old 12.6.4. Now, I will say that even though I haven't experienced much brake stabbing or phantom braking, I did during the afternoon experience a situation where it didn't slam on the brakes, but it did slow down for essentially nothing. And then another situation where there was a squirrel in the middle of the road and it didn't slow down at all. And my daughters were in the car and they kind of freaked out and they thought that I was going to hit the squirrel. Now my streak was low enough where I just slammed on the brake pedal, and that's what I recommend anyone to do if you're in a situation where you need to disengage. Don't try to play those games where you're like, oh, I'm going to hit end trip, or I'm going to, take off my seatbelt, or it's just crazy to have to reach for your seatbelt in a situation like that. If you're going to hit an animal, take over. But the point is that there is still going to be some phantom braking. So if you're leaning on 14.1 Lite, getting rid of that, I'm sorry, it just won't.
In conclusion, v14.1 Lite is very similar to v14 Lite. There are minor changes, and I think these were easy enough for the team to implement, so I'm confident this will go wide very quickly. I still see the steering wheel wobble. The speed settings seem the same. In other words, there's no Mad Max that's been added or anything. I haven't noticed any differences in the settings for arrival, like pull over. It would take a lot of testing to do parking lots and stuff like that, but I doubt any of that has changed. It's possible there have been some minor improvements with going in reverse, where now it stops for objects right behind the car. I'll do some tests with that. I did test kind of the falling asleep situation on the highway. What happens? Will it actually pull over to the side of the road? And it did not do that. Also, I'm still noticing the steering wheel wobble. That's probably one of the biggest disappointments for me, is that is still there. It's minor. It's not a big deal. A lot of people have issues with the brake stabbing. They say that there's phantom braking. I haven't seen that happen. And I didn't really have it happen previously. So for me, that's the same. So will it still be there when you get 14.1 Lite? Maybe. If you still had it before, maybe it will be there. I don't know. But that is nothing that's notably different for me. But I love the fact that there's no more micro surges. And I've spent now probably 30 minutes driving on the highway, going in excess of 70 miles per hour. And I haven't had a single situation where it surges forward. And it was very subtle even when it did it before, but it was noticeable. So thankfully, I haven't had that happen. So that's a huge success for this new version. Everything else feels the same. Navigation is great. I haven't had any issues with that. Lane changes have felt confident. There was one lane change where it wobbled a little bit. It felt like it was kind of uncertain of itself in the environment. But I'm driving at night, so there's not a lot of stuff going on, not too many other vehicles around. But everything that I've observed has been really solid. The city street driving feels a little bit worse when it comes to the steering wheel wobble, but it's, like I said, very polished and it feels good. I feel very confident and relaxed when I'm using this software because I know when it changes a lane, it's going to do it safely. And it really ultimately comes down to safety. And that's the biggest part of these releases. If it's not safe, then that's a problem. I hope this can go wide soon. I don't want to be that guy that says, ship it, and then suddenly discover there's a big problem. A lot of people have been complaining about problems. I would encourage you to look on the bright side of things here and try a couple things before just complaining. It's very easy to complain in this world. It's much harder, I feel, to kind of be appreciative and to say thank you because the team is really doing their best. And I'm fully convinced of that. I'm not just saying that because I'm a fanboy or anything like that. It's really annoying to me when people get their pitchforks out and they get all upset with me saying various things. Because I'm a glasses half full type of person. I'm always very optimistic and I'm very supportive. This technology is incredible. It's saving lives. It's making our roads safer. And it's a lot of fun to use. It's a great technology that I think we should all embrace and be very appreciative of first, rather than slamming it and saying, oh, this is horrible. This is a bad regression. This is so bad. Give it a chance, guys. Come on, give it a chance. And I think some people, maybe they're sour over having to pay $99 to find out it does something that they don't like. Well, does it do it? Does it do that thing that you don't like all the time in every single situation? I doubt it. These are neural nets that we're talking about. They're going to react differently depending on the scenario you come across. Even though it might be the same scenario, it's going to do it differently every single time. Generally speaking, depending. Asterisk. Anyway, thanks again so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a great day.